Thank you for staying with us here on Politics Today on Channels Television. The 2014 and 2015 elections are what we're discussing, and basically we're dissecting the timetable and the plans of INEC ahead of this election. We're actually taking a lead from the Anambra governorship election, looking at some of the challenges and the successes of INEC, so that we can look at ways by which we can get a credible election in the forthcoming elections. Say have on the program Yemi Adamalekun of Enough is Enough and Wale Ogunade of Voters Awareness Initiative. And also we've been joined on the phone by Mr. Kayode Idowu, the Chief Press Secretary to the INEC Chairman. Thank you for being with us on the program. Let's go back to the issue shortly before we'll move into the issue of 2015 general election, because that is very major. He mentioned something, Mr. Kayode Idowu mentioned the issue of register. And someone said that register is the center of election. We've had problems with the issue of registration. Well, INEC is saying that it's a form of creation, a new thing, that invention that we're seeing in this particular election, the vote, the biometrics, and a whole lot of that it says it's going to bring into Ekiti and perhaps Osun State. How do you think this can work, Yemi?
I think what he said was that for Ekiti's June elections, that we'll be using, Ekiti residents will be using the permanent voters card. So they were the first ones to sort of test drive the permanent voters cards. The plan that I understand that they have for 2015 is that they're going to have an electronic reader. But for Ekiti, they wouldn't have the electronic reader. All you will just have is your permanent voters card. So that will be, I guess, in a sense, a mock election to what you're saying for what would happen in 2015. So the key thing really is from March 12 to 19, that INEC does a good job of sensitizing people in Ekiti and Osun to go out and verify that they're in the voters register, and if they are not, that they make sure they register so that they can actually vote in June.
You have monitored a few elections. You have observed in a few elections. Tell us how key or how badly has INEC been able to fix his voters register, because that is very key, isn't it? Compared, looking at what their plans, what is on ground for Ekiti.
No voter card, no voting. Simple. So for you to be a voter, you must have a voter's card. So it is INEC's mandate and statutory duty to ensure that everybody that presents himself to register is allowed to register and has that opportunity in all the 774 local governments and the more than 4,000 wards we have all over the country. That's their duty. That's why they are set up. And of course, by virtue of Section 9 and 10, there's what we call Section 9, the voter register, then Section 10 of the Electoral Act 2011, the continuous voter register. All it needs to do is that, to me, is like automatic thing, this automatic vehicle we ride. All you need to, once you are 18, go to a local government headquarters and get yourself registered. Shikin and no wahala, all this is too much grammar. It's too much grammar. Put the procedure there so that when election time is there, that one is removed. The issue of looking, and of course you know that if your name is not on the voter register, you cannot vote. So if you cannot vote, then definitely automatically the system that ought to protect you, to allow you to be enfranchised, has disenfranchised you. Ab initio. And that's the problem. So if people don't get to register, and to vote eventually, there will be crisis. It's a natural thing that I will be agitated, that I want to exercise my civil right. This has been provided for in Section 24 of the 1999 Constitution. So it is my duty, it is my right to vote. It is INEC's responsibility to register me once I present myself. So any other thing is Dogon Turenchi or long grammar, as they will say.
All right, let's go into the timetable that INEC has released. We've looked at it earlier on the program, and a lot of reactions have come to it. Someone had said that, what is it that INEC will release that people will not criticize? Even the perfect and the best of INEC's plans, people have criticized. Let's look at this timetable. From your own point of view, you've seen some of the debates as regards the order of this election, the National Assembly and the presidential election, the state, the governorship election, and the State House of Assembly election. What's your take on the timetable?
To me, INEC is in order. INEC has been given that power by virtue of item F of paragraph 15, part 1, schedule 3 of the 1999 Constitution, it's their duty to fix timetable for election. Me, I have no problem. On February 14, even sweet. If you remember, during when we were registering people, during the election registration of voters for the 2011 general elections, when they started this data capturing thing, they had problems. People like us organized I better pass my neighbor, taking it round, organized tent and so on for people to be comfortable to register. Same thing here. I'll propose, I hope somebody is listening, all you young lovers and all who are shouting that February 15, Valentine's Day, waiting. No problem. On that day, I will advise you. You see, election is done. In Nigeria, on election day, the country is shut down. Yeah. So you know that if you register where your spouse is not, definitely you've lost your vote. So to make it easy, you VAR people, register together. If you know that your man stays somewhere, register near your man or register near your woman. You spend time together that Friday evening. On Saturday morning, you pack your baggage, pack your Valentine activities. In fact, people like us, if you are in our neighborhood, we will organize music for you. Enjoy yourself, go and vote, come back. In fact, to me, maybe it's a good one, so there won't be any acrimony. It's the Lovers' Day, so nobody is going to fight on the Lovers' Day. So we have a fine election.
That's interesting. Let me ask you, Yemi, we saw in 2011, the presidential election didn't come first. Yeah. The first election was actually postponed to the following Saturday. Right. But this time around, we're seeing the presidential election and the National Assembly election coming first, followed by the state and the governorship election. What's your take on that?
I mean, I understand people's concern because just because of the way Nigeria is structured, if you know who is president, there's a tendency for things to happen within states, and I think that's the fear that people have, people trying to align themselves with the center, that it might have been easier and less sort of stressful if you had done state election first and then you do the presidential, which is what people's concern are. I'm personally indifferent, but I do understand and appreciate the concern.
But do you think that particular concern should be visited? I mean, INEC should make an amendment on that. Do you think they can reorder that particular timetable?
Professor Jagaya said he's standing by it, and I think we have a lot more issues to worry about than changing the timetable, quite personally. So I don't think we should spend too much time trying to get them to reorder the order of events. I think people should just focus on making sure they register and vote whoever they want in office.
Mr. Wale Ogunade, you think that will not affect the psychology of voters? Some politicians are already crying foul that the order of that election is not rightly placed.
We have started well. Your station, my sister here, all of us, and Nigeria, I want to use this opportunity to challenge us. Let's all help Jega to succeed. Let's all help INEC to succeed. Let's all help Nigeria to succeed on this project. Nigeria, we are no more in 1983. This is no more 2003, not even 2011. The level of awareness have gone higher. I tell you, I crisscross Nigeria on a regular basis. So the level of voter education has improved. I tell you, if you think the level of Nigerians who are involved in voting have reduced, no. What happened before is that election results are padded. People, you see, in your presence, you see that those who are in this election polling booth are not more than 200. When the result comes, you see 5,000. But because now we have harassed INEC, and they have agreed that indeed we should be pasting results in as soon as elections are conducted before moving around, you see that it has been reduced. Okay. So those things will really help. So their level of education has improved. I don't think it may.
Let me allow Mr. Kayode Idowu to weigh in some of our conversation. We have now crossed into a timetable that the commission released. Tell us, you've listened to the conversations here, and one of the major concerns is the order in which the elections have come. In fact, some people are saying, why is all the elections not conducted in one day? What's the commission defense of the timetable and how it has reordered it differently from what we saw in 2011?
Well, thank you very much, Sean. Two things here. Number one is that I totally align myself with the contributions by Mr. Ogunade and Yemi there. That honestly, the issue of the sequencing of the elections should be a non-issue, as it were. More so because in 2011, there were no complaints of any challenge with the sequencing. And nothing has happened in 2015 that is drastically different from what took place in 2011. So it's surprising that so much issue is being made of the sequencing in 2015. In 2011, we had National Assembly election first, presidential election second, and state elections third. All that has happened in 2015 is to combine election 1 and 2 in 2011 and make them election 1. And to make election 3 in 2011 and make it election 2. And since there was no challenge in 2011 with that, I don't see why there's so much talk about a challenge about that frequency now. In any event,
Mr. Idowu, some of the concerns that we have heard when people reacting to your timetable is the fact that when the presidential election is conducted and the results are announced, that will actually influence the other election. That's a major concern, isn't it? And looking at what is different from 2011 and 2015 is that the stake is higher. The contest is going to be keenly contested this time around.
Well, so I think that we are also doing a big injustice to Nigerians to assume that there are some sort of zombies that can be goaded into voting one way without their exercising their rational capability. My question is that, was there any bandwagon effect in 2011? I think there was no bandwagon effect in 2011. What is different in Nigeria now to assume that there will be a bandwagon effect given the same sequences that we have in 2011 and that there will be a bandwagon effect in 2015? I think Nigerians are more rational than that. This talk is a lot of partisan talk, and I don't think there's any reality to it.
All right, Mr. Idowu, hold that thought. The conversation will continue right after this commercial break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.